guess, threw the book at me during my sentencing. It made sense he'd try to make me even more miserable now. I glanced between the two of them, then directed my next question at Guard the Surlier. "You don't happen to know who released me, do you?" He scowled at me, too. "Not looking a gift horse in the mouth, are you, Morikawa?" Other people may have jumped at the chance, but I knew too well that there were no gifts or grace on Kepler. Everything had a price. I just didn't know how much this would cost me, yet. But even so, as Guard the Surlier undid my shackles, the freedom of movement eased the constant anxiety I'd been living in for the past 8 years. I didn't have much in the way of personal effects. My junk phone, a binder that no longer fit me, clothes that were no longer in fashion, and a deck of novelty cards I'd bought her as a joke. I had half a mind to throw the deck back in the attendant's face, but I didn't. I just muttered my thanks and took the bag offered to me. I dressed in what I had, minus the binder, despite my temptation. The jeans didn't reach my shoes, and the shirt stretched across my chest, the sleeves tight around my arms. I grimaced in the mirror. With my too short jeans and my too small shirt, I looked like a tattooed sausage splitting out of its casing. After I dressed, I returned to the receiving area. Guard the former had what appeared to be a staple gun in hand. Didn't like the look of that. He gestured for my hand. Warily, I proffered my right one. He yanked it forward. Then, with a snick, the gun pierced into the flesh between my thumb and forefinger. I winced. He let go. "Behave. Someone's always watching you now." I hated the sound of that. Guard the Surlier led me to the prison entrance. "Best of luck, Morikawa," he sneered. I looked back at him. "How the hell am I supposed to get home?" "Not my problem," he said, then gave me an unceremonious shove on my back. And suddenly, I was on the outside. It was always cold on the trashy rock that Kepler orbited. Good for nothing but a few strip mines and a prison. There were haphazard banks of dirty snow strewn across the pockmarked landing pad. Frozen solid from a dozen freezes, thaws, and refreezes over the course of the rock's near-constant winter. Remarkably, a few leaves still clung to the branches of the native trees. The night sky was overcast with fast-moving clouds, and a frigid breeze nipped at my bare arms. It didn't feel real until that moment. I'd been bracing myself for impact, waiting for the warden to leap out like a jump scare and laugh in my face as the guards threw me back in my cell. But despite my initial wariness, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. Maybe it was my need for more, my need to fill the negative spaces in my life, blinding me to the consequences. But for now, I savored my freedom. I breathed in deeply. The guards used to make me crawl through the air ducts, repairing the ancient HVAC units. I used to choke on the chemical smell of harsh detergents as I scrubbed the prison walls and floors. Here, on the rock, the chilly air was unrecycled, and I could faintly smell the scent of oily smoke and gasoline. After 8 long fucking years, I was on the outside, and I knew exactly who I wanted to call first. I pulled my phone from my pocket. My last call with my sister was in my allotted calm time 2 weeks ago, and I knew the landlord was breathing down her neck. If anyone needed good news, it was her. That lightness in my body only grew as I thought about it. I could lend a hand around the house. I could take the kids to school. I could get a job, a real, legitimate job, and help pay our mounting bills. I never considered the prospect of parole. Now that I had it, the possibilities for me and my family were endless. But when I tried to power up my phone, it stayed dead, and all those light feelings sank to the pit of my stomach. Now what? I was still staring at my phone, willing it to come back to life, when I heard a sharp whistle from across the landing pad. I lifted my head, and I saw her. She was tall.